Hey, last week I got a box and it's got 80 comics in it. It looks like I've already done half of them, so this is good. We'll finish the other half this video. And got another Vigilante. Now, this box came from DrSkull's Raw Comics video YouTube channel, and he's sold a box with 80 comics in it and showed them off real quick. And I was going to spend a little bit more time and go through why this comic book may or may not be something that I personally would have bought. Now, the great thing about buying these boxes, you might be thinking, Ridge, you spent $40 on a box of comics that you may have or may not ever read. The great thing is, it forces you to try something you never tried. Like, I would never buy Vigilante, but here it is. So I got no excuse to try it out, to not try it out. Now, these were 50 cents each because it was $40 for a box of 80. Some of them are in pretty rough condition. I'll probably never get to read the Tarzan that he was showing, which will be, I guess, because look at those. Looks like the rough ones are coming up, but I'm already having a hard time breathing. All right, so we got the Fantastic Four. I definitely had this when I was a kid. During the John Byrne era, I was into Fantastic Four. I don't think it was because of John Byrne. I think it was just coincidental. I think it was just She-Hulk's in it, and it was just something cool about it. I don't know. I just thought that the Fantastic Four were really cool back then, and I wasn't wrong. They were really good reading. I mean, I never thought of Invisible Girl being that strong, but she showed that she was about like a Dark Phoenix level, superhero or villain when she became Malice. My cat's about to jump up here. No, bad kitty. Look at him. He wants the box. He wants the box. He wants the box. Okay, you're gonna have to get off my comic books, baby. This one's Tom Tom. There you go. You got the box on the ground. Now go on the ground and play with it. That's Tom Tom. He's you could tell him he looks just like Goldilocks, but his face is skinnier, and he's 2 or 3 years younger than Goldilocks. They look just like twins now. All right, so we call them the Tiger Twins. Anyway, back to comics. Wonder Woman. That's another comic I would probably never read, but I have read a few because they were like, what was that comic I used to read back in the 90s? Young Justice. They were like Young Justice crossovers. All right. DP7. That's the comic book I would have never tried. I think I actually have this issue. Legion of Superheroes. I loved Legion of Superheroes as a kid. When it started getting more serious, that's creepy. All right, when it started getting a little bit more serious, I guess, or the humor became something I really was like, gosh, it's like that British humor we don't get as Americans. I don't know. This era, I kind of remember phasing out of it because I was like, I don't get it. I didn't get it as a kid. And, in the 70s, it was all about being superheroes. And now it's like, I feel like social issues and stuff. It just felt weird to me. And the only reason I started picking up Legion of Superheroes when they started getting the Archie art, I was like, now that looks more like, and it was kind of like they cloned, the clones got out. It was like a mystery at first. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder what happened, why there are 2 legions. And that's where I started picking up and reading again because, well, the art was interesting. The art told me that it wasn't as dark as this looks. This looks, even though that's aqua, I mean, that's these were very dark looking. Anyway, I'm sure somebody's going to be like, no, he wasn't. Like, all right, whatever. I'm just telling you what I'm telling you from my childhood point of view. A lot of times, Alpha Flight. I loved Alpha Flight. I definitely had this one. I had the first, 30-some. Well, I definitely was into it up through when Box was in it. And it's probably the first 50 issues of Alpha Flight I was really into. But yeah, I definitely read that as a kid, but I'll definitely read it again. I remember having this one as a kid. I think this is one of the, well, I don't know. I definitely remember having it at some point. I did have this whole series when I was a kid, Cosmic Boy. I did like this suit better because when he had, without the pink part, it looked like, remember when Dark Phoenix, right before she became Dark Phoenix, she was manipulated being the Black Queen around issue 130 of X-Men back in the 80s. And she was wearing a black bustier. I was like, why is Cosmic Boy wearing a black bustier like her? And I know he probably wore it before she did, but I think she wore it better because that's just creepy to me. I never understood his outfit before he got before it connected to something. It was just held up and it made no sense. And we were actually talking about that from my time perspective. It's going to be several weeks in advance from now. In a cover slingers, I was like, I've never understood that outfit. I always thought it was weird. This outfit's fine. I mean, pink's okay. I don't care. I mean, back in the 80s, we wore pink. The New Mutants, I have had this before. I kind of remember it. I think Warlock was really cool, and him and Impossible Man, they're very much alike, so that's interesting. We got Bonanza. I've never read a Bonanza comic, and I think this is one of the ones that are really bad. Some of these I can tell I'm already going to have a hard time with my nose being stopped up from the smell. Hey, a little bit. Little bits here, so hopefully I can get him inside, and he's the one that's always straggling to come inside. All right, so anyway, Emil and the Detectives. I feel like I actually watched this Disney show back in the day. See, but Walt Disney used to come on every Sunday, and they would have like there was one that had 5 parts that I watched recently. So it was a cowboy, Tenderfoot. I think it was 5 parts, and like you watch all 5 parts in 5 consecutive Sundays. So I think Emil and the Detective was one of those that had like 3 or 4 parts. And they could have put it together as a movie later, or maybe they broke it up from a movie. I don't know, because I wasn't alive back in the 60s. Toby Tyler, I've definitely seen this before. I remember that. It was about a carnival, and it's a really good old movie. One of the good old movies. There's another Bonanza. Yeah, I've definitely watched Bonanza. I've not read one of the comic books before. Whew, man, it's like, look at that cover. That is ripe. That is ripe. But he said some of these were really bad. I think this is the one. Sorry, I had to do the smell test. This is the one that's stuck. Yep, see? So I'm not going to be able to read the front cover, so it's not going to be one of the readers. Maybe I'll slab it. If I slabbed anything, it'd be this one, so just to preserve what's left of it, because that is a good cover. That's great art. I love the Tarzan painted covers. Nikki, Wild Dog of the North. I remember some dog. It wasn't Nikki, was it? I can't remember now. Dick Turpin. I don't think I've ever seen this one. I'm talking about the TV show, the series, movie, whatever. Tarzan of the Apes. That's a great cover too. These painted covers are just amazing. I wonder if this is one I can probably read this one. Good. The cover's not glued down to it with whatever. Hey, so some of these I can already tell they got some mildew. You see that right there? So how do I get rid of this? Do I just stick it in my dash and let the sun take care of it tomorrow? No, the cats are making that growl noise like they're about to fight each other. I heard Night Mask was the best of the new universe. I got number 1, so that's a good place to start. All right. And I'm like, you're going too fast. I know. For this one, I have got nothing to say because I've never read it. I mean, he looks like Batman's Robin, sort of, mixed one. Hey. Shh. Sorry. I don't like cats. We bring our cats in every night so that they won't be out my window fighting. Anyway, Alpha Flight. I definitely remember reading this back in the day. I always thought she was really pretty. Until she got her hair cut. I was like, yeah. Where are you meowing at? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Are you? Is that white kitty? Anyway. You hear that? Psst. I can't tell who it is. Tom, is that you? Tom, he doesn't like fighting. All right, sorry I paused. Like that's a long pause, I know. All right, we got Jughead's jokes. Maybe Meanie just wants somebody to leave him alone is what it is. Meanie, he causes a lot of troubles, but then he just kind of, then he like says, oh, I'm afraid. It's like, well, then stop swatting people when they go by. He's one of these, almost like he's a kid. He's a brat. He like smacks people and then he doesn't expect anybody to smack him back. But it's like, no, these cats will smack back. All right, Daffy Duck. You ever notice that the back of these covers are one solid color? They're not like anything complicated. I mean, that's good. That's cool. I like it, but at the same time, it's very simplified. People think, wow, that's so nice and so pops. It just pops. It does. It really does, but it's a very different style. Here's one I definitely want to read. Archie's Parables. I've got a lot of Spire comic books. I do not have this one, so I'm going to slide it over to I got a pile right here, so I've just been discarding too. I'm going to slide it over here and make that the top of my list. Here's one I can tell there's 2 comics in it. There's Marvel Universe M, Marvel Universe ROM, Q to S. Quasar. All right, so that's some pretty good stuff in there. That's actually, these are the older Marvel Universe. The first ones that came out before they did the deluxe editions. Betty and Veronica. It's like, which one do you like better, guys? Betty or Veronica? I'm like, of course, now we're adults, but I'm just saying, like, when you were a kid, I thought Veronica was way, like, she reminded me of my neighbor, Misty. No, thank you. I don't want anybody to stab you in the back if you don't take them to the right movie, something, if you don't get the right popcorn. I mean, like, she's scary, but she's also stupid. So it's like, which one do you pick? All right. Oh, this is actually square bound. So, this is a pretty heavy carded edition. This is the index to the Marvel Universe, the Avengers. It's going to go over this time, but that's okay. We don't got that much to go. I don't want to make 3 videos out of this. It's the cat's fault. Blame it on the cats. Oh, okay. So I actually had some of these back. I think I had these back in the 90s, but I never read them. This one, they said it was faded, but I can't remember what the original color was. I did read Power of the Atom and Sword of the Atom. I think I like Sword of the Atom, but they're related. But I just like the whole he became Conan or He-Man or whatever. I'm not sure what year this is, but it looks very good to read. Yeah, most of my stuff I like the 80s, then the 70s, then the 90s. Although it seems like I pick up more 90s than 70s, that's for sure. La 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 la. When he was pointing this out, he pointed out that there's a nitpick over here, and I'm like, I'm okay with that. Oh, it's been some torn up down here, but probably I can still figure it out. It's kind of big panels, and yeah, I could probably figure that out. Now, Marvel Fanfare, I remember I had some of these back in the day. They were. Okay, so I thought this was like, there was something that was like coming soon from Marvel, and it was like a bunch of news, basically. It wasn't really, this is more like a Marvel premieres with like at least two of these, I want to say 4 stories in this. I do remember reading one more recently. What was that? Some nice back art in it. But I do remember reading one recently. No, that was Marvel premiere, sorry. And it had 4 stories or 4 parts of 4 continuing stories right here. It was like Wolverine and something and something and something. And it was like, and then those went over 5 issues. So it's like they took 5 comic books and broke them up over, Yeah, anyway. Oh, good. We got Night Mask 4, Night Mask 3. So if we have Night Mask 2, I got the first 4 issues. And again, I don't have anything to say about Night Mask. I don't know much about it. I just hear it's good. I've been reading Cyforce, and I don't have number 3, so that's good. And of course, Spitfire has a robot, and I like robots. So Spitforce. Yeah, Spitforce. And plus, I was reading a recent Cyforce, and they were going to do something with putting them together with code name Spitfire. I think the name of the comic changed at some point. Like a Spitfire and the Troubleshooters. Then it became Spitfire, and then it became codename Spitfire or something. Like, here we go. Here's another Spitfire. A lot of Spitfires in this. Codename Spitfire. So it went from one to another name. So, and on mine, I just put, like on my database, I just put Spitfire. Codename Spitfire. Another DP7. Here's another codename Spitfire. Oh, a ROM issue. I think that I may have this one. And I had them all as a kid, of course, so I'm not going to go into that information. Here's another Spitfire. So they're not all together. I'm going to have to really get these rearranged back to where they should be. Here's a Marvel Universe Deluxe Edition of Book of the Dead. Now here's another Deluxe Edition, and we got one more left, and there's a sand where the cat's got up on the table. So we got Deluxe Edition. Yeah, why am I trying to connect it? It's the backs that connect, and these have got the cardboards. All right, well, that's it. That's all there is. I went over by 4 minutes what I normally do, so hey, forgive me. Which one did you like out of these? And just kind of comment below what you think is good about this. And it's also getting dark out here. It's about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock maybe, getting close. All right, thanks for spending time with me today, and hope to see you next time. If I get more comic books, I guess I'll just be getting them through the mail now.